All right, let's get into it. We're going to be talking about the breakout players for 2020. I already made a part 1. This is part 2. My all breakout team for 2020. Now, the first player we're going to get into, quarterback Josh Allen. He was the QB7 last year and a very consistent one at that. The team added Stefon Diggs, which is only going to help him in his 3rd year. A lot of people are down on him. A lot of people are comparing him to Blake Bortles on Twitter because he's super inaccurate, but this isn't real life. This is fantasy football, and all we care about is points in fantasy football. He's put up back-to-back years with 500 yards on the ground. He's going to get a lot of rushing touchdowns, and that just provides him a safe floor from a week-to-week basis with Stefon Diggs in there, an improved O-line, and an improved offense in general. I think Josh Allen could really do something in his 3rd year in the league. He was a QB7 last year. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he finishes as a top 5 QB with his rushing floor. Again, I expect another 500-yard rushing season with a lot of rushing touchdowns. I'm excited for Josh Allen. I think he's a boom or bust quarterback because I do think there's a possibility that he could end up busting like Blake Bortles, but I'm going to bet that he's going to succeed in his 3rd year in the league. I think he's going to improve on those inaccurate issues. He's not going to be, obviously, a super accurate quarterback in his 3rd year, but I definitely think that I could definitely see some improvement in his 3rd year with an elite, I'm not going to say elite, with an established wide receiver 1 in his 3rd year in the league. So love me some Josh Allen, especially later on in the draft. The first running back I have on my all breakout list is Miles Sanders. A lot of people have been high on Miles Sanders this season. Back in March, I believe, early off season, he was a 3rd round projected pick. Now he's all the way up to the late 1st round. He's gotten a lot of hype recently and a lot of backlash as well. A lot of people are not liking Miles Sanders creeping up into the 1st round, but I love me some Miles Sanders. Only 2 players in recent history have ever recorded 800 rushing yards and 500 receiving yards in their rookie year. In recent history, only 2 players, Saquon Barkley and Miles Sanders. There's still nobody in this backfield. He's 5'11", 212 pounds, which is more than good enough to be a workhorse in this league. A lot of people are saying that Doug Peterson has always been a running back by committee style coach, and that's true, but he's never had a talent like Miles Sanders. Also, this situation, who is in the backfield for a committee to be even a thing? It's literally Boston Scott and Miles Sanders in the backfield. That's it. I expect the same thing from the last 4 games where Miles Sanders fully took over this backfield to translate on to week 1 and throughout the whole entire season. He was the RB15 last year, was a high-end RB2 last year, while only having 6 games with 15 or more touches. So he doesn't need that many touches to be good. He's super efficient with the touches that he's already getting. So if he was a RB15 last year with being in a committee-style backfield with Jordan Howard his whole entire rookie year until the last 5 games of the season, I don't see any way where he doesn't finish as a top 10 back, even splitting time with Boston Scott. I believe it's going to be a 70-30 split with Boston Scott and Miles Sanders in this backfield. He's a true workhorse back. I don't see him being kind of that Zeke level, Saquon, Christian McCaffrey workhorse back in 2020. But even then, it's still good enough to be maybe even a top 5 running back. He's going to be the goal line back. He's going to be the receiving back. He's going to be the workhorse for this team. I love this offense in 2020. And a lot of people are also saying that Miles Sanders, the primary reason for his breakout last year was because the team didn't really have any receiving options in 2019 in the later portion of the season. Now, that's true. But what has the team done to improve in 2020? They brought in Jalen Reagor, who's a rookie, so I don't expect him to really do much. They brought back Deshaun Jackson, who got injured week 1, but he hasn't stayed healthy since I don't know when. Alshon Jeffrey's still in the PUP. They drafted a couple of rookies in the later portion of the draft, but again, I don't expect those guys to really do anything. So the only really true guy that's still there from last season in week 1 is Deshaun Jackson. I don't expect him to stay healthy whatsoever this whole entire season. It's literally the same team from last year when Miles Sanders broke out, except it's going to be in week 1. Now, I'm recording this in August 15, so I don't know if the team is going to sign Devontae Freeman or not. We'll obviously reassess the situation and Miles Sanders' fantasy football outlook in 2020 if they do bring in another back or if they bring in Devontae Freeman. They tried to sign Devontae Freeman back in May, but he declined the offer because he didn't want to sign for the amount of money that they gave him for whatever reason. So I think the Eagles have already moved on from bringing in another back, and they're just evaluating the situation that they already have and going in with Miles Sanders as their workhorse back. So I love me some Miles Sanders in 2020. I think he's going to truly break out. Love him in PPR as well. I think he's going to get a lot of receiving work, and he'll also be the goal line back. Love me some Miles Sanders along with Josh Jacobs in 2020. The second running back I have on my list is Deandre Swift. Now, this is a rookie, I know, but this is a rookie that I think is getting disrespected in a lot of leagues. The talent's there. They drafted him, I think, early. I think it was a top 5 pick in the second round. So a super early investment on a running back for the Detroit Lions. It won't be long until he beats out Kerryon Johnson. You know, he's miles ahead, better than Kerryon Johnson from a talent standpoint. This is a pass-friendly offense. He's a pass catcher. He's talented. An early second-round draft capital. If you can invest a late 5th-round pick as your RB3 with Deandre Swift, that's an amazing spot to get him, because I think when he truly breaks out, Kerryon Johnson gets injured like he does every single year. He's probably gonna, outproduce him right away, and he's gonna get that starting role pretty fucking earlier than most people would expect as well. Kerryon Johnson's gonna get injured, and when Kerryon Johnson gets injured, this is gonna be the Deandre Swift show. I expect him to be a higher-end RB2, RB1 upside in this offense. He's gonna be the goal line back. We hope at Matt Patricia. We hope. But I love me some Deandre Swift. I love the talent. I love that he's a pass catcher, and I love him as an RB3 this year. If you can get him as your RB3 on your bench, wait for that breakout to happen and reap the rewards that you're gonna get from Deandre Swift this year. The first wide receiver who I have on my list for the 2020 season is AJ Brown. Now, I love AJ Brown. He had a phenomenal rookie season where he recorded 1,111 scrimmage yards, 9 touchdowns, and AJ Brown had a absolutely insane 20.2 yards a touch. That just shows you how good he is after the run and after the catch. He's super explosive. He runs like a running back, and he's special, man. And a big fact, when Ryan Tannehill took over in week 7 and through 17, AJ Brown was the wide receiver 7 in fantasy football, wide receiver 3 in standard as a rookie. Now we look at the situation this year. They didn't bring anybody through the draft. Corey Davis is on the PUP, the active PUP, to start off the year, or start off the offseason. Jonnu Smith is there, who I expect to be the second option in this passing game in a run-first offense. But he's only going to get more improvement with Ryan Tannehill in 2020. More chemistry with Ryan Tannehill. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if he cracked the top 5 this year. He's going to improve again in his second year in the league. Only his second year in the league. He's going to improve with this offense, this same coaching staff. I absolutely love AJ Brown in 2020. He's the absolute alpha dog in this offense, and I expect him to go off with Ryan Tannehill. The only problem I see is this could be a little bit more run-first offense, like I said, but they're going to have to pass the ball. It's like every team. They're going to have to pass the ball. And who are they going to pass it to? AJ Brown. That's the only really receiver threat that they have. Love me some AJ Brown in 2020. And I love him as a wide receiver too, with insane upside. Another player who I really like this year is Christian Kirk. And a lot of people have forgotten about him since the D-Hop trade. Last year, Christian Kirk rolled his ankle. He reportedly said that he was fighting through it throughout the second half of the season. He wasn't the same. And I've liked Kirk's talent ever since he came into the league. And with D-Hop coming in, that's only going to help Christian Kirk in his 3rd year in the league. D-Hop is going to get a lot of attention drawn to him, and that's going to leave Christian Kirk wide open in this offense. And in an offense that's projected to get a lot of points in Kyler Murray's 2nd year in the league, who a lot of people love to break out in 2020, I think Christian Kirk is the main beneficiary from all this going on right now. He's being drafted as the wide receiver 46, going as a wide receiver 4 in drafts. He could be easily a wide receiver 3 on your team. He was only 1,000 yards shy of a 1,000-yard season last year if he was on a 16-game pace. With the ankle injury that he was playing throughout the whole entire season, I love me some Christian Kirk. If it's not this year, it's never going to happen. Love me some Christian Kirk as Kyler Murray's second option in this passing game, who, again, a lot of people expect Kyler Murray to break out. How's he going to break out? Obviously, D-Hop's going to eat. But Christian Kirk is also going to have to eat if Kyler Murray is truly going to break out. So, love me some Christian Kirk. I've always loved this talent, and I think this is the year where he can actually break out and show everybody what he's got. A third wide receiver who I have on my list, and this is another kind of low-key player, and that's N'Keal Harry. He didn't play that much at all in his rookie season. He didn't look great. But the Patriots brought in Cam Newton. He projects to be the starter. N'Keal Harry projects to be the starter along with Edelman and Sanu. He was a first-round pick last year, and he's in a great position to produce this year. I'm willing to take a shot on N'Keal Harry. I really liked him pre-draft. He was just super unlucky last year with all the injuries he had to deal with. He's going as the wide receiver 59, as a wide receiver 5, and he's in a great position to even be the #1 target for Cam Newton in this offense. I absolutely love N'Keal Harry in 2020, especially how late you can get him. It's just an upside pick, just an upside dart. Why not take a shot on N'Keal Harry? He was a first-round talent last year. He's still super young, and I can see N'Keal Harry being a really good player in 2020. Super late in drafts. He's still super young. You know, last year was only his rookie year. He disappointed, obviously, but how many wide receivers really produce in their rookie year? I think he's back healthy with Cam Newton. He could easily be Cam Newton's #1 target. So I love N'Keal Harry, especially super late. I think he's going in like the 15th round. Why not take a shot on him as your wide receiver 5, as one of your bench pieces with upside? Love N'Keal Harry in 2020. And I got 2 tight ends to wrap up the video. The first tight end I have is Jonnu Smith on this list. I love Jonnu Smith. Last year, he was 4th in the NFL among wide receivers and tight ends in yards after catch per reception, which is insane. So he can already do that after the catch when the ball's in his hands. He's an athletic beast. Now with Delanie Walker finally out of Tennessee, the staff has already said good things about him. He will be the second option on this passing game because Corey Davis is done. Corey Davis has had multiple opportunities to impress me, multiple opportunities to even do anything in this offense, and he's talentlessly failed every single time. This is Jonnu Smith's year to break out. He's going into his 3rd year in the league without Delanie Walker in this offense. I think he's going to eat in 2020. It always takes tight ends 2 to 3 years to break out. This is his 3rd year. I think it's coming. Love Jonnu Smith in 2020. Finally, we have Noah Fant, and the talent's there. We love Noah Fant. He was a first-round pick last year, and he had a pretty successful rookie year. He caught 40 passes for 562 yards and 3 touchdowns. The team did, however, bring in Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, also bringing in Albert O and Melvin Gordon. But if Locke shows out and he has a great season like a lot of people think he is, Noah Fant is going to have to produce, like I said with Christian Kirk. He's going to be a big reason to why Drew Lock breaks out in 2020 if it happens. We've seen it before. Tight ends like George Kittle, Travis Kelce, and Zach Ertz, all these elite tight ends, did break out in their 2nd year in the league. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if an elite freak, an elite athlete like Noah Fant breaks out in 2020. He's not in the best position, but again, the talent is there. Jerry Jeudy's gonna have to take a little bit. He's gonna have to take a little bit of a backseat to Noah Fant in his rookie year. KJ Hamler is still a rookie. Both of those guys are still rookies. He could easily be Drew Lock's safety blanket in 2020. And going as a tight end 12 in the double-digit rounds, as your tight end, as your second tight end, as your backup tight end, maybe even a starter if you go super late in the draft with the tight end. He has a ton of upside this year. Again, the talent is there. He was a first-round pick last year. It's not too often that a tight end becomes a first-round pick. Love Noah Fant. I think if Drew Lock succeeds this year, again, Noah Fant is going to be a big reason to why Drew Lock succeeds. So, absolutely love Noah Fant in 2020 with Drew Lock in his 2nd year in the league. Now that's my all breakout team for 2020. Part 2 is done. If you haven't checked out part 1, be sure to check that out. That's all I have for you guys. I'll see you later.